Hello again, everybody. I'm just kidding. Jay, you know I love you. This is the impossible card Vanish, and what it is a beautiful thing where you could use a signed card and a signed coin for that matter. I was having a lot of difficulty when I was actually performing the trick to Victor, but I'm going to show you guys how it's done. And what it is a lot of people have figured it out, but simply a card with a quarter-sized hole in it. Ah, how about that? Who would have thunk? And so what you do is take any arbitrary card. I like to use the face card because it covers up a lot of the little edges around, you know, so it's kind of harder to tell what it is. And all it is when I put my hand over it, I'm picking up the card and pulling it off to the side and hoping that the quarter stays as closely there as possible. So to make these, you're going to need a little tool to our disposal. It's called an X-Acto knife, and you can probably get these at some store or Ace Hardware supply factory, perhaps. I want to use a Joker just because I have my little extra cards. Whenever I need a duplicate card, I'll always come to this and pick out one for a new pack of cards, and I also have one in the color of red. No, better yet, I would like to use one because I don't have one for a blue deck yet. So I'm going to use the Queen of Hearts because she's pretty. What you want to do is you got your quarter, and what I did was I tried to do it around the front, which I should not have, but I mean, if you want to make it as imperfect as you can, things that are imperfect are usually tend to be perfect, like human beings. But the way I was originally taught was to use the back of this circle right here to place the quarter on it and start to cut around it. I'm going to use this little iPad case instead because I don't want to cut on the felt of the pool table. But like I said, you want to cut straight around. Hopefully I can make an even better version than the first that I made. But at the same time, because I'm doing a tutorial, I'm going a little less than 100%, I'll say, to put it kindly. And so hopefully you guys take your time on this and really make it a work of your art. And I'm starting to cut myself a little bit. Self some space to look around. You can start to see the ring around it. I can start to see a little ring around there if I angle it to the light properly, but still not good enough. So what I did with the jack is I actually tried to poke holes through going around it. But I didn't cut it, just poke little holes. So this is perfect. Starting to see little holes around there. So then what I did is I went around the actual face of the card. Did a thin outline there. Then went around the back again, poking those holes a little deeper through it, widening the actual slit that was being made. That's pretty good, it's starting to come through. And then you can eventually get to a point where you don't need the quarter anymore. You can actually go around and start to really carve out the hole. And look at that. So that's gone. There's a nice hole in my iPad box now. And then something else that I might do at the end is I would put the quarter inside there and just kind of carve out any excess garbage in there. This is garbage. And there you go, there's your gimmick. I'm going to use the Jack of Hearts just because I trust it. And I don't know, this didn't come out as nice as I originally expected or wanted it to. But, so now I'm going to actually show you how the trick is done. So what I did in this case was, how I personally perform the trick is, because I want someone to take a card, and you'll see me do this all the time, is I'll swing cut the top half of the deck over, and I'll have them pick from, I'll do a one-handed fan, and I'll have them pick from this packet. And I still have this whole other packet in my hand, but the reason that I don't let them pick from here is, for one, this still looks like a lot of cards to choose from. I mean, you could do that, or you could do that, produces the same kind of look. And usually, I'll have cards on the top that I don't want them to tamper with. So what I'll do is I'll force them to pick from only half the deck. So, with the whole card on top, I'll swing cut over, and I'll peel this down, or I could even hold it like this. I mean, with this over top of it, it would be kind of hard for them to catch what's going on. So I have them pick a card, and when they take it, they could sign it. And while they're looking at it or showing people over, I get a break under this card. Now, the thing is, you don't want to be like, okay, put it back on top of here, because obviously you can see the shadows. So what I do instead is I pick their card up, they're holding it, and I'll come over and steal their card like that, and then put the rest of the deck on top of it, and then you can let everyone else see. And you have a break under your whole card. So you don't need to angle jog this, you can actually push it straight into the packet. And then the beauty thing about this is you don't need to do any swing cuts or passes yet. You give them a quarter and you have them sign it, and while they're doing that, then you can do the pass as slow or as sloppy or however you want to do it, or you could just do a regular cut, doesn't matter. But if you want to try to keep it secret, that's what I did to Victor and people, is I just gave it a pass. You can even see it very subtly in the background while he's signing the card. And so when they're done signing it, you can blow it off, do your gimmick, throw it up in the air, and hold the cards so they're away from them, and you want to put their signed card away from them, so that's what you see, and you put their signed coin face up on the card and put it down on the table. And I've been experimenting and playing with it, and sometimes I'll like riffle through to make sure that the coin will kind of go through, but be careful with that because you might get that going. So experiment, see what works with you. And sometimes I'll put it on there and the coin will slip through the middle and end up sliding out of the side, which is no good. And sometimes I'll put the cards down and then this will spin, but the quarter will stay perfectly in place as opposed to spinning with it. But usually you won't have that problem. So when you come down to finally do it, what this hand is doing is coming over and picking up the card with these little pincher fingers, just like how you would normally palm a card. And then what it does from there is you want to have this tight grip on it, and hopefully you can get that corner pinched up against your thumb as well. And then from there, you don't want to drop it immediately. You don't want to come out and drop it to your lap. But you want to come over, you can do this motion after the fact, come off to the side, and you're going to drop it into your lap, out of sight, out of mind. So again, their card is on top. You have them pick a card. I mean, I guess you could spread through covering the hole and do that. Perfect. But try to get used to the one-hand fan. People are just going to be naturally impressed by that anyway. And I do have a tutorial for it. So, it's called one-handed fans. So they pick a card. While they're looking at it, you get a break quickly under the hole card. You still have your fan right here. And then you come over and steal it out of their hands so they can't see the top of their card. You don't want to come underneath and steal it. You want to come up and do that little number. Let everyone see it, and with the fan packet, cover up the rest of the deck. You can let everyone see it. Fairly push it in because you have a break on the jack, not on the 5. And so have them sign a card. You can do whatever you want to do, quiet method to get it to the bottom of the pack. So here's our hole. They take it, and what I like to do is I like to leave the cards on the table so I don't think anything's up. You can flip the coin, pick the pack up so it's facing you, put the coin on top, put the cards down, square it up. Come watch. You come over, this hand blocks this hand, and you lift straight up. Come across. You don't want to cover it and slide it off. That's another big thing about this. If you come over and you try to slide it away, you're going to get a little mess. But if you come down, palm it, lift straight up, come across, hopefully your coin doesn't stick to the inside of the hole. Lift straight up. That. The palming was very sloppy, but I was in a very precarious position. And that is the impossible card change. Slide the coin off, slide their coin off. The beautiful thing about it is, look at that. There's a Jack of Hearts right there in the middle of the deck. They can inspect it. And this whole one is off in your lap. Hey you guys, make sure to subscribe to How to Disturb Reality and my Evan Cloyd channel, as well as following me on Twitter and liking me on Facebook. Interact with me, I'll interact back. And as always, rise above.